Oregon Trail, a retro-inspired game with a classic feel. Something that comes across very much like the old Oregon Trail games that were on the old IBMs and Apple IIs from when I was a kid. The game draws a lot of its inspiration from it, even the same color schemes of green. The game is really similar, and even has some few added bonuses, like running away from hordes of infected animals as you try to flee the cities.
Civil danger warning. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. At 10:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, reports of zombies rising from their graves and attacking people were coming in from several states across the country. They include Arkansas, Colorado, Idaho, Missouri, South Dakota, Texas, and Vermont. It has been observed that a vital exchange of
And the game is in very much the same spirit as the original Oregon Trail, with its same monochromatic color scheme, along with its kind of intuitive interface of buying supplies versus bullets versus food versus clothes. So it's got that going for it. The game does a wonderful job of retelling the American Westward expansion. In this story, you're moving west to try and survive, where in the past, people moved west to try and find better lives for themselves. Many Western settlers saw the West as an open expanse of free land, away from government interference, and the ability to actually have property, which in a lot of the eastern states had already been bought up by a lot of the larger families or more wealthy individuals. So it gave almost a grand equalization of opportunities for a lot of Americans to become the fabled Jeffersonian farmer, the self-sustaining people that would basically drive America's economy into the future. However, that wouldn't last forever, but it's what kind of inspired a lot of westward movement in the United States. Yeah, so we could say we're going up 93, cut off on this dirt road, and then go to the lake here outside of the Air Force Range. Because there isn't. This is a temporary water source for now. Don't have to worry about other people. That's about it. It's been said the trail west is covered with the bodies of fallen settlers, the ones who succumbed to the elements and didn't quite make it. And an ironic twist that you could be applied to Oregon Trail would be that those very same bodies that fall on the westward journey rise to cause you more problems. The settlers who went west first faced considerable hardships when traveling. The Oregon Trail was covered in hostile natives, although at first not nearly as many as you'd think. However, after the Civil War, the increased number of settlers traveling west began to displace more natives, causing more conflicts. A series of Indian wars that would last till 1890 erupted across the western frontier. A mixture of limited supplies, harsh condition, and a surprising lack of roads led to the many hardships a lot of farmers faced on their travels west. Oregon Trail situation is almost kind of similar. You do have that growing causation of people dying and rising up to kill you, so you do have an increasing threat, not to mention limited supplies because of the breakdown of global society. And also, I think dysentery would probably be back at this point. I found the game Oregon Trail was actually quite a bit more difficult than what I remember playing when I was a kid with Oregon Trail on the Apple II in my classroom. It seems that the old trick I used to do was that I would play the banker, have all the extra money, and then I would just buy a bunch of food and bullets, and in the game, for whatever reason, you didn't need to buy clothes because it didn't impact the game mechanic in some way or another. Not sure how I figured that out. But once you leave your starting point on the trail, you'd stop and then just hunt, and then keep hunting until you have more food than you could possibly imagine. Then I would just put everyone on triple rations, and then just go double time towards California. And I wouldn't bother fording, I would just, take the ferries, pay the money, and do it. And basically, after the lunch break, I'd be at the end of the Oregon Trail, and I'd be starting a new life. And I wouldn't have any problems, because none of my people would get sick because they're having triple rations the entire time.
Saw a fire out back there. Getting a little hot out here. I'm running out of water.
Yeah, we'll see what it is. See what they're doing here.
So, came up with a plan.
What?
Go ahead and tell them what they're winning, man.
What they're winning?
Nice trip to Bullet
Some
City.
kind of small prize. You take this. Yes, we always ask them nicely for their food and water. Yeah? Yeah. I'm asking nicely. So, we're gonna go. We'll be back. If we're not back, just head to the next down the road. Yeah. So it made the trip west really easy. However, in Oregon Trail, I think I'm inept because I find this game incredibly difficult. Not to mention the random events are just incredibly unforgiving. I made a team with my wife, my dog, and my brother. And my wife, for whatever reason, decided to go out and get bitten. Still kind of mad at her about that. Don't know why she did it. But this game is far less forgiving than the original Oregon Trail. The biter's got Jim. Sandals is dead. Okay, my car's still here, so that's good. Something, I guess we'll just keep going. Yeah, I guess we'll keep going. Alright. If you enjoy a challenge and you enjoy a relatively unforgiving game set in a zombie apocalypse that really kind of reminds you of your old retro roots, then Oregon Trail is definitely the game to pick up and try out. It's really not that much, it's pretty fun, the game has replayability, the way in which you do things changes, and just want to say thank you for watching and hope you had a good time. Just wanted to say thank you for sticking around and watching the entire episode. If you made it this far, I'll recommend that you go to theconsoleexplosion.com and check out some of the other wonderful individuals that inhabit that site along with me. If you want more of my content, you can go to Historicnerd.com, or you can visit me at Twitter, which unfortunately Historicnerd was taken, so it's Historicalnerd at Twitter.com. I don't say much, but you're welcome to drop by. It's really up to you. But thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day or evening or whatever it is you're doing. Bye. The apocalypse. You pick to wear sandals. All the things to wear.
Hey, if I'm gonna die comfortable.
It's not a bad way to think about it, but I mean, like, tactically, how tactical are sandals when you're trying to, like, flee somewhere?